Welcome back to the Hurry Up Offense, fantasy football news and advice for week 15 of the 2022 NFL fantasy football season. It is playoff time. You should be there, or I guess at worst you should be almost there. You got another week to go if you're in that type of league. I am Smokey Rameriz, your fantasy football pro. Let's go. I don't guess there's a whole lot in the way of game theory this week. I will give advice though, but we're going to run through the news because, like I said, it is playoff time and you got to be ready for those playoffs. Let's go. DJ Moore put in a full practice on Wednesday, so it looks like he's going to be ready to play this week. However, he is a superstar wide receiver. He is just not a wide receiver one for your fantasy team. So if you do have him, don't expect him to just put up a monster game. He can, though. He can. We've seen it this year. He is capable of doing that. But with Sam Darnold back there, you never know quite what you're going to get. But he should be ready to play this week. I think 2022 will go down as the year of tight end hell. Pat Freiermuth has a foot condition. He did not practice on Wednesday. He told ESPN's Brooke Pryor that he hurt his foot on his first catch last week. You're going to have to keep an eye on Pat Freiermuth because he may or may not be available for your team this week. If he is out there, though, you have to play him because there's not a whole lot of options out there on the waiver wire. Tight end sucks. But that's just how it is. This year, you either got Kelsey or tight end sucks. There are no other proven guys ready to go week after week. And even Kelsey has had a bad week or two. Mark Andrews has had a bad week, a bad string of weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. TJ Hawkinson is what it is. George Kittle has had tons of bad weeks. Where are the tight end producers? They're just not there anymore. It is what it is, though. At least you have the comfort of knowing that your teammate that you're playing against, if they don't have Kelsey, they don't have a good tight end either. Keep that in mind. You know what? I'll take that back. Maybe there is somebody out on the waiver wire because Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow are designated to return from IR this week, which means they will probably be active for this weekend's game. So there's one right there. I'm not expecting a ton out of Waller, especially with Foster Moreau coming on like he has. They may just continue to use Foster as the #1 tight end, and Waller will be out there as a decoy, or maybe they're splitting the work. Whatever it goes down, Waller is not going to be as good as Kelsey or as good as he was 2 seasons ago and 3 seasons ago. I don't expect a ton, but if you don't have any other option, Waller may be an option in the end. Also, if you need wide receiver help, we know that Derek Carr likes to throw to Hunter Renfrow. We haven't seen much of that because of his injury and Devontae Adams being on the team, but he is a relief valve in tight situations. When he's not going downfield, he can just dump it off, short screens, whatever, to Hunter Renfrow. There you go. Mecole Hardman is designated to return from IR also, which is actually going to be good for Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't expect Hardman to come back and just get a ton of work, but he will draw some coverage. And if they stick with Juju, that's going to be good for Hardman, and he could get some work. But I'm planning on Hardman drawing a little bit of the coverage and Juju getting more one-on-one sights, and not to mention Kelsey. We know how that works. Yep, that's about it for Hardman, though. J.K. Dobbins says he is hungry for more. Let me read this right here. J.K. Dobbins admitted that he's not back to 100%. It's still not me all the way yet, and I'm going to continue to get better. He is hoping to have 200-yard games is what he's saying. J.K. Dobbins, if he's still out on your waiver wire you have to add him. I know if you're in anything over 10 teams or so, he's probably not, but look for him just in case. J.K. Dobbins is going to continue to progress. They really need help on that offense. They need someone to run the ball, and J.K. is a great elite running back. He's just had a tough time with injury. And for him to still be banged up and having a rough time and to put up over 100 yards, but he wants 200 yards, I expect a lot out of J.K. Dobbins through your fantasy playoffs and through the end of the real playoffs. He's going to be very usable. I don't know why this is listed as fantasy news, but it kind of makes me happy. The title of this article is Brady entering final stretch with the Bucs. Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer believes the Bucs' Tom Brady is unlikely to return to Tampa Bay next season. While Breer doesn't shut the door on him returning to Tampa, note that Brady will enter free agency in a few months. The 45-year-old has shown signs of decline this year, no doubt. Through 13 games, he's posted a career-low YPA 6.2 and touchdown rate of 2.9. He's currently QB 13 in fantasy. No, this is not going to help your fantasy team, but this is probably the end of Brady. Pay attention to that for next year when you get sucked back into the Brady trap. When he ends up with whoever, the Broncos maybe, that would be hilarious. Or the Raiders or the Seahawks, wherever he ends up. Don't get sucked back into this trap. He is a non-mobile, will be 46-year-old quarterback. Do not draft Tom Brady next season. Kenneth Walker was a full go in practice this week, and he looks like he's going to return this week. Wasn't that much of a problem, was it? Kenneth Walker is a dominant running back for a rookie, I guess I could say. But, however, he's going up against the 49ers this week, so he will be hindered by that defense. Let's hope he doesn't run into Bosa out there. I don't expect a ton out of Kenneth Walker this week. I do expect him to be productive, just he's not going to have a mega game because it's the 49ers. However, you can rest assured that he will be out there. The Texans are likely sticking with a QB committee rather than just going with Davis Mills. Now, Davis Mills can actually be productive at times for your fantasy team, and with him actually being taken out and put back in, we see that he doesn't quite have the fear that he once had, and he seems to be letting it fly. Not that he's just willy-nilly passing downfield, but he can throw the ball for 70 yards if you let him. The boy's got a cannon, and maybe he'll let it rip a little bit more when he's out there. But however, Lovie Smith wants to play this committee thing with a quarterback. I don't know. It's probably not going to work out. If you're in a really deep league and you need to play Davis Mills, look for something else, because it's probably not going to be fruitful. Sorry. Let's talk about the 49ers, though. If you haven't heard, Deebo Samuel will probably miss about 3 weeks. Probably not going to help you out unless you are in one of those leagues that plays all the way up to week 18. If your fantasy championship is in week 18 and you make it there and you need Deebo Samuel, he might be out there for you. Other than that, you can drop Deebo Samuel. I hate to say it because he's such a productive player and we need him on our fantasy teams, but you're not going to have him. Hang on to him if you're playing in week 18, which I hope you're not. That's horrible. But if you are, hang on to him. And also, Brock Purdy. Remember, he had that oblique injury coming out of this last game. He was limited in what was called a light practice on Tuesday. Shanahan wouldn't say for sure whether Purdy will start Thursday night's game versus the Seahawks, but he did say the oblique injury is more of a pain tolerance issue. Purdy told the media he's able to run and throw but hasn't tried to throw. Oh, sorry, I read that wrong. He is able to run, but hasn't tried to throw since Sunday. We'll get another update on his status later in the week. This is Thursday when you're hearing this, so you might want to check it out right now if Purdy is going to be making it tonight. Hopefully it's not a game time decision and you have to deal with that. You know what? If you got a backup, you might just want to hang on to that, because Purdy is a last round rookie quarterback, so it's not like he's just going to outperform every single week. At least the trends would say he's not going to. Maybe he will, but he's injured now. You're taking a risk. If that's the only quarterback you have on your roster and he's playing on a Thursday night, that is a real risk. I would try to lean something that's playing on Sunday if you have any options available. Oh man, that's scary. That is scary. Cooper Kupp's not going to play again for the rest of the season. What a loss. What a loss. Tyreek Hill was limited Tuesday. We saw that he got injured and then came back in the game this past week. It's an ankle injury. He was limited in Tuesday's practice, but he got a bit banged up on Sunday night's loss to the Chargers. Yes, we knew that. I just said that. But was able to play through it. Yes, I already mentioned that. Hill should be fine for Saturday night's game against the Bills. Remember that the college season is over now. There's going to be games on Saturday night. Remember to set your lineup accordingly. And last but not least this week is a little more quarterback news. It appears that Colt McCoy is also injured on top of Kyler Murray. Now, the Cardinals signed David Blau off the Lions practice squad just in case, like a break glass in case of emergency type thing, because Colt McCoy also might not be able to go this week. Then they're going to throw in David Blau. Now, there is so much quarterback injury going around right now that you may have to have this guy in a really deep league. I feel bad for you if you're playing David Blau. I don't know if I would just hope for the best for Brock Purdy on Thursday night before I play David Blau, man. That's a tough situation. We'll just leave it at that. Let's hope Colt McCoy plays. Let's hope you don't have to play David Blau. But if you do, man, you better cross your heart. Bad situation. That's it for the news this week. Remember to look forward to next week with defenses and things like that, and try to get ready for the championship, because it is coming up very, very shortly. Hope you guys win some playoff games this week. Hope you have fun playing. I hope there are some of you that are actually out of the playoffs. Not that I hope you're out, but I hope if you missed the playoffs, you're still playing, because that's how you get better at fantasy football. I am Smokey Rameriz, your fantasy football pro, and I'll see you next week. Deuces.